Maybe I'm just unlucky. That's what millions of people tell themselves every single day. They blame bad luck for their failures, their struggles, their lack of progress, and the life they live. They look at successful people and think, they were lucky, they had better opportunities, life worked out for them. Meanwhile, they keep feeling stuck, frustrated, and disappointed with their own life. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people never want to hear. Bad luck is usually not the real problem. Your habits are. Because your life is not shaped by random motivation or occasional effort. Your life is shaped by what you repeatedly do every single day. Think about it honestly. Waking up late, wasting hours scrolling, procrastinating important work, quitting when things get difficult, avoiding discomfort, chasing distractions, breaking promises to yourself. None of that is bad luck. Those are habits. And over time, those habits quietly build a weak future. But instead of facing that truth, most people choose the easier option, blaming luck. Because blaming luck removes responsibility. It protects the ego. It allows people to avoid changing themselves. But the moment you stop blaming luck and start taking responsibility for your habits, your entire life can begin to change. Because successful people are not always the luckiest people. Often, they're simply the people who stayed disciplined longer than everyone else. They kept showing up when others quit. They kept improving when others made excuses. They built strong habits while everyone else kept waiting for motivation or a lucky break. And honestly, this is why so many people stay stuck for years. They keep hoping their life will magically improve while repeating the same destructive habits every single day. But your future does not care about your excuses. Your future responds to your actions. In this video, you'll understand why blaming bad luck keeps people trapped, how your habits quietly control your future, and how taking responsibility for your life can completely transform who you become. And trust me, once you truly understand this, you'll never look at your habits the same way again. So if you're serious about improving your life, becoming mentally stronger, and finally taking control of your future, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and watch until the end, because this message might change the way you see yourself forever. The first thing you need to understand is this: blaming bad luck feels comfortable because it removes responsibility. If bad luck is the reason your life isn't improving, then you never have to change. You never have to face your habits. You never have to admit that your daily choices might be creating the exact life you complain about. And honestly, this is where most people get trapped for years. They tell themselves stories like, I just never get opportunities, or, some people are naturally lucky. But if you look closely, what often looks like luck is usually preparation meeting opportunity. Successful people spend years building habits nobody sees. Waking up early, learning skills, staying disciplined, improving quietly while everyone else is distracted. Then one day, when opportunity appears, people call them lucky, but what they're really seeing is the result of consistency. If this truth is already hitting hard, like this video and subscribe, because understanding this can completely change how you approach your future. Now think about your own life for a second. How many times have you blamed circumstances instead of habits? How many times have you said things like, I'll start tomorrow, I'm just too tired, or, maybe this isn't meant for me? Those thoughts feel harmless in the moment, but repeated over months and years, they become your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who is unlucky, stuck, and powerless. And once that belief becomes strong enough, it controls your actions. You stop trying fully. You stop taking risks. You stop pushing yourself. You settle for comfort because deep down, you've convinced yourself success is for luckier people. That belief quietly destroys more lives than failure ever could. Because failure can teach you, failure can make you stronger, but self-pity keeps you weak, keeps you waiting for life to change instead of becoming the kind of person who changes their life through action. And honestly, modern life makes this problem worse. Social media constantly shows people instant success stories without showing the years of discipline behind them. You see someone winning and your mind immediately thinks, they got lucky, but you never saw the sacrifices. You never saw the consistency. You never saw the discipline when nobody was watching. That's why comparison is dangerous. It makes you focus on what others have instead of what your own habits are creating. Strong people don't waste energy comparing luck. They focus on building themselves every day, quietly, relentlessly, and over time, that mindset changes everything. Because once you stop blaming luck, you finally reclaim your power. You realize that while you cannot control every circumstance, you can always control your habits, your discipline, your mindset, and your effort. And that's where real change begins. If you're still watching, hit like and subscribe right now, because very few people are willing to hear uncomfortable truths like this anymore. Now let's talk about something most people avoid hearing. Your habits are either building your future, or destroying it quietly. There is no middle ground. Every small decision matters more than people realize. The problem is, habits don't usually create instant results. That's why people underestimate them. Wasting 1 hour today doesn't feel dangerous. Skipping one workout doesn't feel serious. Procrastinating one task seems harmless. But repeated daily, those small actions slowly shape your entire life. And eventually, people look at the results they created and call it bad luck. But it wasn't luck. It was repetition. Repetition of distractions. Repetition of excuses. Repetition of avoiding discomfort. Meanwhile, disciplined people are also repeating actions every day, but their actions are building strength instead of weakness. They read while others scroll endlessly. They stay focused while others waste attention. They improve skills while others complain. They keep promises to themselves while others constantly break them. And over time, those repeated actions create confidence, opportunities, discipline, and success. That's why successful people often appear lucky from the outside. People only notice the results at the end. They don't notice the years of disciplined habits that created those results slowly. If this mindset is opening your eyes, like this video and subscribe, because most people spend their entire life waiting for luck instead of changing their habits. And honestly, one of the biggest habits destroying people today is the habit of victim thinking. The moment something goes wrong, many people instantly look for something external to blame. Society, the economy, other people, their past, their luck. And yes, life is unfair sometimes. Bad things happen. Some people truly start with disadvantages, but the people who change their life focus on what they can control instead of becoming trapped by what they can't. That's the difference. Victim thinking creates helplessness. Responsibility creates power. The moment you accept responsibility for your habits, you stop waiting for life to rescue you. You stop expecting motivation to magically appear. You stop hoping success will happen without effort. Instead, you start building yourself daily, quietly, consistently, and honestly, that mindset alone makes you more powerful than most people. Because the modern world rewards people who can stay disciplined while everyone else stays distracted. Most people today are addicted to comfort. They want success without sacrifice, results without consistency, confidence without struggle. But life doesn't work that way. Everything valuable requires repeated effort over time. And the people who understand this stop chasing shortcuts. They stop blaming luck. They focus on becoming stronger instead. That's why discipline changes lives. It teaches you to trust yourself again. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you choose action over excuses, your mind becomes stronger. Every time you stay consistent despite discomfort, you build a future most people only dream about. And honestly, one of the biggest mindset shifts you can make is realizing that successful people are not magically different from you. They simply learned how to think and act differently over time. Most of them also faced failure, rejection, fear, insecurity, and difficult circumstances. The difference is, they didn't allow those things to become permanent excuses. They understood that while life is unpredictable, their habits still shape the direction of their future. And once you truly understand this, you stop seeing yourself as powerless. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop hoping luck will save you. You begin focusing on what you do every single day instead. Because at the end of the day, your habits reveal your priorities. If you spend hours distracted every day, your future will eventually reflect that distraction. If you constantly avoid difficult tasks, your life will eventually reflect avoidance. But if you repeatedly choose discipline, growth, learning, focus, and consistency, your life slowly begins transforming in ways most people can't imagine. That's why strong habits are so powerful. They compound quietly. Small disciplined actions repeated long enough create massive results over time. But most people quit too early because they expect immediate change. They want success fast. They want confidence instantly. They want their life to improve overnight. And when progress feels slow, they return to blaming luck again. But real growth is slow. Real growth is often invisible at first. Think about the gym. You don't build strength after one workout. You build strength through repeated effort over months and years. Your mindset works the same way. Discipline works the same way. Your future works the same way. And honestly, this is why patience is so important. Because while weak people chase quick results, disciplined people focus on long-term transformation. They understand that every small action matters, even when results are not immediately visible. If this message is motivating you to take more responsibility for your life, like this video and subscribe, because this channel is for people who are ready to stop making excuses and start changing themselves for real. Now listen carefully. Your environment also affects your habits more than you realize. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, distractions, laziness, and people who blame everything except themselves, your mindset will slowly become weaker too. That's why strong people protect their environment carefully. They protect what they watch, what they listen to, and who they spend time around. Because your environment either strengthens your discipline or destroys it. And modern life makes distraction extremely easy. Endless entertainment, endless scrolling, endless excuses. You can waste years of your life without realizing how much potential you're losing slowly. That's why taking responsibility is uncomfortable, but powerful. The moment you stop blaming luck, you regain control over your future. You stop acting like life is happening to you. You start acting like your choices matter again. And that mindset changes everything. Now here's something very important to understand. Taking responsibility for your life does not mean blaming yourself for every problem. Life can absolutely be unfair. Some people grow up with more opportunities, more support, more money, or better circumstances. And yes, bad situations can happen to anyone. But the reason responsibility is powerful is because it shifts your focus away from what you cannot control and back toward what you can control. Because if you spend your entire life focusing on unfairness, you slowly lose the motivation to improve anything. Your mind starts believing that effort doesn't matter. And once that belief becomes strong enough, people stop trying completely. That's why victim thinking is so dangerous. It steals your power without you even realizing it. Meanwhile, disciplined people think differently. Even when life is difficult, they ask themselves questions like, what can I improve? What habits are holding me back? What actions can I take today? That mindset creates progress. Small progress at first, but progress nonetheless. And honestly, progress changes people psychologically. The moment you start seeing yourself improve through your own actions, your confidence grows naturally. Not fake confidence, real confidence. Because now you trust yourself. You know you can rely on your actions instead of waiting for luck to save you. That's why disciplined habits create more than success. They create self-respect. Think about how many people secretly feel disappointed in themselves, not because they failed once, but because they repeatedly ignore what they know they should be doing. Every broken promise to yourself weakens your self-image a little more. You say you'll wake up early, but you don't. You say you'll focus, but you waste hours distracted. You say you'll change, but your habits stay the same. Over time, your brain starts associating you with inconsistency, and eventually, many people stop believing in themselves entirely. But the opposite is also true. Every time you follow through on a disciplined action, even a small one, your identity slowly changes. You begin seeing yourself as someone reliable, someone capable, someone mentally strong. That's why small habits matter so much. They may look insignificant in the moment, but repeated daily, they completely shape the person you become. If this message is helping you see your life differently, like this video and subscribe, because very few people today are willing to take responsibility for their future instead of blaming luck, distractions, or circumstances forever. Now let's talk about another harsh truth. Comfort is often the biggest enemy of growth. Most people are not failing because they lack potential. They are failing because comfort keeps them trapped in weak habits. Comfort tells you to procrastinate. Comfort tells you to avoid difficult conversations. Comfort tells you to stay distracted instead of improving yourself. And while comfort feels good temporarily, it slowly destroys ambition, discipline, and confidence over time. That's why growth often feels uncomfortable. Building better habits requires effort. Changing your mindset requires discipline. Improving your life requires sacrifice. But every strong person you admire went through that process too. Nobody builds a powerful life by staying comfortable forever. And this is where your life can truly begin to change. The moment you stop asking, "Why am I so unlucky?" and start asking, "What habits do I need to change?" everything becomes different. Because now, your future is no longer controlled by excuses, emotions, or circumstances alone. It becomes controlled by your daily actions. And honestly, that realization is powerful because it means your life is not fixed. Your future is not permanently decided. No matter how stuck you feel right now, small disciplined habits can slowly rebuild your confidence, your mindset, your focus, and your entire direction in life. But you have to stop waiting for some magical moment where everything suddenly becomes easy. Real change usually starts quietly. Waking up a little earlier, wasting less time, staying focused a little longer, keeping small promises to yourself consistently. Most people ignore these small actions because they seem insignificant. But over time, small habits create massive transformation. That's how powerful people are built. Not through motivation alone, not through luck, through repetition, through discipline, through consistency on days when nobody is watching. And honestly, this is what separates people who stay stuck from people who eventually change their life completely. One group keeps blaming circumstances forever. The other group takes responsibility and starts improving one step at a time, even when progress feels slow, even when life feels unfair, even when nobody believes in them yet. Because disciplined people understand something weak people often ignore. Your current situation does not have to become your permanent future. And yes, the process is difficult. Changing habits is uncomfortable. Growth requires sacrifice. Some days you'll feel tired. Some days you'll want to quit. Some days progress will feel invisible. But if you keep moving forward anyway, your entire identity slowly changes. You stop seeing yourself as unlucky. You stop seeing yourself as powerless. You begin seeing yourself as someone capable of creating change through action. And that mindset alone can completely transform your future. Imagine what your life could look like 1 year from now if you stopped wasting energy blaming luck and started building stronger habits instead. Imagine how much more confident, disciplined, focused, and mentally strong you could become. That version of you is possible, but it starts with responsibility. It starts with honesty. And it starts with understanding that your habits are either building your future or destroying it quietly every single day. So stop waiting for luck to save your life. Stop believing that successful people are simply luckier than you. Start focusing on your habits instead. Start controlling your attention. Start building discipline. Start taking action even when it's uncomfortable. Because the truth is simple. Your future changes the moment your habits change. And the people who truly transform their life are usually the ones who stop making excuses and finally decided to take control of themselves. If this video made you realize that your habits, not your luck, have been shaping your life this entire time, then don't ignore this moment and go back to the same routines that are destroying your future quietly every single day. Most people will hear this message, feel motivated for a few minutes, and then continue repeating the same excuses tomorrow. Don't be one of them. Starting today, stop blaming luck. Start changing your habits instead. Because the moment you take responsibility for your life, you take your power back. And once you build discipline, consistency, and stronger habits, your entire future can begin to change in ways you can't even imagine yet. If you're serious about becoming more focused, more disciplined, and mentally stronger than the distracted majority, hit like right now, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because this channel is for people who are ready to stop making excuses and finally start building a better life for themselves. And before you leave, go to the comments and type, "I will change my habits." Make that your promise to yourself starting today, and share this video with someone who keeps blaming bad luck without realizing their habits are quietly destroying their future. Now click the next video on your screen and keep building the disciplined, focused, powerful version of yourself that most people never become.